Hey Wargamers, welcome back to the channel, Death from Above Wargaming. I'm Aaron.
I'm Tom.
We are back with a little Kickstarter update. Little update. Little check-in.
We've been hard at work painting.
We have.
And also scheming about what the first sort of on-table action will be for our units. I think.
It's true. It's true. We were actually going to film a bat rep tonight, weren't we, Tom?
Yeah.
And then we decided we were like, what do we do?
Yeah.
There was so much new stuff we didn't know what to do. So we figured we'd ask you guys, you know, and get some input on where to go next with all the exciting Battletech action.
Yeah. And also Halloween took it out of me this year. Ooh, it got cold.
It got so cold.
It got so cold.
It was like 35 degrees last night.
Yeah.
But we
was it seriously that cold?
Yeah, it was freezing up here. It was freezing. But, you know, we had a good time. Did you have a good time?
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah, so many people came out. It was
good.
A lot of socially distanced, but everybody was really enjoying it.
So there were these dudes that had this giant, like, chute.
Yeah. And
they were, like, loading candy into it. And the kids were, like, standing there with their buckets. And it was just, like, dumping candy into the bucket.
I love it.
So we've got our units we're going to show.
Yeah.
All right. You did an amazing job.
I finally painted something.
It's glorious.
What?
It's glorious. I mean, these are some of the finest. It reminds me of Warhammer when we finally got you to paint some stuff and they came out amazing.
Oh man, all my Zench guys.
Stuff. Ooh, so when Tom paints it, it's glorious in my opinion. So of course I was churning things out, and I have a variety of factions and things.
At least 4 I can see.
Yeah.
And I think you have at least 1 or 2 more.
Yeah, 1 or 2 more over there on the old paint bench. So we'll show you some of the stuff that we got.
Mad Scientist
featuring
Laboratory.
all the new miniatures. I've got an update on the dropship. I was working on it.
No, trying to fix it?
No peeking. I was trying to fix it.
You're going to turn it into...
And trying to actually get paint to adhere to it.
I don't know that we can bring the dropship back up again. Yeah. It is a source of contention.
But you know...
I'll keep an open mind.
It's salvageable. I'm gonna put it that way. So we're going to go over that. But before we get into any of that, Tom, very, very big announcement.
Starts with a P?
Starts with a P.
Starts with a P.
Patreon.
Okay.
Patreon is live.
What is Patreon?
Patreon is a way you can help support the channel. So you go to www.patreon.com, look us up, Death from Above Wargaming, and you can choose to subscribe basically there.
Yeah.
And it's low cost, $1, $5, $10. There are 3 tiers. So you're either greenhorn, regular, or a veteran. The elite tier has not been unlocked yet. Okay. And each of those tiers, right, $1, $5, $10 respectively, get you access to some stuff. The $1 tier, you get access to the community chat. You can see what's going on. You know, you can preview the posts. I think that's public though.
Yeah.
At the $5 tier, you get access to all of our digital content. So we'll still have all of our downloads available for free on our website. But some of our tools, like our classic Battletech to Alpha Strike converter, which takes a laundry list of very intense rules for conversion, puts them in a very easy tool for you. So you just plug in some key classic statistics, and it basically craps out an Alpha Strike card for you. So there's that tool. Additionally, we have the card generator. So you can just very easily plug in Alpha Strike stats, and it catalogs. So if you have your Jade Falcon Force, you don't want to be like trolling through.
Who said I was painting Jade Falcon? Wait a minute.
You're wearing a Jade Falcon hat, Tom.
Wait a minute. Who told you?
Spoiler alert. So you can track all of your minis there, and then you can very easily, like, it auto-completes. Boom,
it's super impressive.
It's very cool. So also features a campaign builder in there too, or a force builder. So if you want to pick from your collection.
Well, and that's what I was saying too. Yeah, like when we tried to do it originally, like we couldn't because it was like trying to convert our forces into Alpha Strike was a big barrier for that. So that tool is going to really help enrich our campaign lives.
Yeah, very cool. And you guys will be able to get that. Again, that's at the $5 tier. Yeah. Additionally, at the $5 tier, very exciting, we're going to put up polls where you guys can influence what we do at the channel. If you want to see specific Solaris matchups, right, you can vote on different things.
Or if you want to see Solaris at all.
Right.
Who knows?
Maybe not. Maybe you don't want us to do Battletech anymore. Maybe you want us to play Chutes and Ladders.
Yeah.
That poll probably will not.
We can just do unboxing videos.
That's it.
Please don't.
And then the $10 tier basically is the premium tier. So you get all the stuff and the prior tiers. And in addition to that, you get your name, you get recognized in all of our all of our battle reports and things. In some
Do I have to get a tattoo, or is that at the?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the elite level.
That's
everybody's
elite level.
name will get tattooed.
You get DFA on your knuckles.
Yeah. Jade Falcon.
So you
I'm
get
not sure that.
so you get that, and then also the really cool thing is you can get a named pilot in our DFA canon. So when we do the campaigns, we have the pilots.
Heck yeah.
So you guys can contribute at that tier. And if we have the opportunity and those forces are fighting and it fits in, we can work your pilot in. And we've done that a couple times for some of our loyal fans in the past, but now this is available to there. And then lastly, sneak peeks. So when we're allowed to give sneak peeks and we have access to some of the early Catalyst stuff, we'll be able to share that there. And then of course other special opportunities, let's call them. I will say we can't do quote unquote giveaways according to Patreon, but there will be special opportunities for those of you in the $10 tier, and also access to commissions. So when you want Tom to paint your army for you.
Yeah, I mean, even if you just want me to base them, I'll do it.
I'll do it. Speaking of painting,
just come at me, bro.
Yeah. Speaking of painting, well, anyway, guys.
Well, and let me say too, like the big advocacy thing here is that this channel does cost quite a bit. We put a lot of time and effort into it. Aaron especially, because he's big brain, Aaron. but like, and people think that YouTube ads and things like that really generate revenue, and the truth is they kind of don't.
They really don't.
And they don't cover the hosting costs for the website and all these different things.
Yeah.
So, there's a labor of love, but it always makes everything easier. We can invest in more equipment.
Yeah,
and
it's true.
Yeah, do more and more
content. Upgrade to 1080p.
Yeah, maybe even some different backdrops. Maybe we can even do like a whole virtual, like
a mech hanger.
Like I was gonna say, like a mech.
You
hanger.
Want a green screen, and we want us to be in a mech hanger.
I don't want it. We just need it.
Yeah, I feel like with like a second camera. Like we tried that with the unboxing video, but we had a lower, we were using the webcam.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to get a second high resolution.
I've been saying
camera.
that we do need a second one. Yeah.
Maybe a third one too, and then hire like a dedicated camera guy.
I remember at one point we had this idea about hanging a camera from the ceiling for the top down.
For the top down battle reports to like put a GoPro up there.
Yeah. Could still do that.
I like that idea.
It'd be cool to have like
guys. You can make these dreams come true. So if you can. And you're willing, we would really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Even throwing us $1 a month would mean the world. So if you can do it, thank you very much. And if not, at least subscribe on YouTube. That helps too a little bit.
Yeah.
So
makes us feel better.
It does, at least, right, for my ego. So anyway, I kind of want to start with your Jade Falcons.
Okay.
Maybe we can do a little bit of the Jade Falcons, and then we can do a little back and forth.
Yeah.
So you chose. Tell me about why.
So if you're in the Facebook groups, you'll see I posted up, and we've talked previously. I bought a whole airbrushing setup last year that I never quite got off the ground. With the COVID thing, we had turned my basement into a classroom, which took away part of my plans. So all my stuff sat in boxes for a while.
It's awful.
But I finally unboxed it all. I got a really awesome compressor, a Pash compressor, and I got an Iwata Eclipse, a little paint. I got the whole Army Painter kit.
Oh, very nice.
Which a lot of people, there's a lot of things about what paints people like. Vallejo, especially for airbrushing. Vallejo is a big one. Games Workshop paints, which is what Citadel. And then Army, they're sort of the big three.
Yeah.
And then Bones, Reaper, I think. They have some stuff
Reaper
too.
has a paint line. I
don't know who makes it though.
Yeah.
But yeah, and people are kind of down, especially on the larger kits from Army Painter, where they say the qualities can be very hit or miss in terms of the coverage. And, but with an airbrush, it doesn't matter quite as much. I did notice on the green I picked for my main Jade Falcon Force was like, it was almost like a glaze when I tried to paint with a brush, no coverage whatsoever. So I do see sort of what people are talking about, and they said too, some of the kits can be old and then you have to really shake up the paints. I didn't have that problem, but the value there for the Army Painter stuff, to get 50 colors, especially on an airbrush when you want to be doing some more heavy gradients and things like that, was really valuable to me. So it turned out good, so I was super psyched. So this was the first thing I've painted with an airbrush ever. I was always a brush guy before.
I'm a brush man.
Yeah, and I learned from Aaron on this stuff. Actually, I did. I learned. No,
did you really?
Yeah, man.
Oh, wow.
The only thing I ever used to paint was Tamiya.
Now you are the master. I am but the learner.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I did used to paint, you know, car models. I paint a lot of like Tamiya,
yeah,
and larger scale car stuff. But for miniatures, Games Workshop, man,
that's true. Yeah,
brought me into the gaming crew.
That is true. That is true.
So where to start? So the two I fell on first were the Delta Galaxy, and I'll pull one out right now. Yeah, I'll pull one out that's completely done, and this is another piece that I'm kind of on the fence about. So if I pull, who do I have? Yeah, so I have my Direwolf that I painted. I think it turned out great. So it's I used the Xenothon effect with the paintbrush, which maybe I'll do a video on. I mean, there's a ton of them, but I'll do another one specific to
give us the 30-second.
30-second thing, yeah. So Xenothon is just a priming effect to give depth of color. So you do a black, gray, and a white in different. So like black, you do the whole model. Gray, you do like a 90-degree, and then white, you sort of do top down. And what that does is it gives you the illusion of shadows even when there aren't. So if you were to turn the mech upside down, it would look pretty goofy. But when you put it down on the tabletop, it really makes the mech look a lot more grounded.
It looks awesome.
And then over top of that, with airbrushing, you sort of do very thin coats. If you were to do thicker coats of paint over top of that, you would hide the entire effect. So you kind of have to work up your layers, and it's a really light touch. And then this one, then I do a wash on them, a brownish wash, which is called, I think, soft tone with their washes. And then I did a gray dry brush. So that's where I'm sort of on the fence about. Aaron knows we talked about it extensively. And then the red cockpits,
right, which is awesome.
Yeah, so the gray really brought the color tone down quite a bit. And I'll pull out somebody that hasn't been, and everybody's favorite, Timberwolf action. So, next to each other, you can kind of see a little more vibrant, and also, oh yeah, you know what, I have two of them, so never mind. Get back here. There you go. Next to each other. So this one is the legend. This one's a legendary Direwolf, and this one is the main box Direwolf. So you can see, I mean, it's a much yellower, and it's much brighter. But the gray does have some cool effects, especially on the legs. So maybe I just do a lighter. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Do you prefer, and maybe Aaron will get some higher res pictures to put up.
Yeah, I will, for sure.
Do you like the sort of more bright green that hasn't been gray dry brushed, or do you like the sort of toned down, more metal looking mech? So these guys are going to both be Delta Galaxy and also Turkina Keshik. And the reason that I wanted to make sure, and actually they're kind of a good balance between the two.
Yeah, you can play either or with them.
Yeah, Turkina Keshik is the Khan's personal honor guard military force.
Got it.
And they play a role in the periphery battles in the initial clan invasion. And this is what we're going to talk about later on in terms of where do we start with bat reps. So I'll get into that. But so these guys will be both Delta Galaxy and Turkina Keshik. And then lastly, I decided I wanted to try out I had an extra star. I had 5 guys that I could do a different, and we talked a little bit and was like, are they always the same, or do they kind of mix and match? And so Omega Galaxy was another one I really liked. I saw somebody else on Facebook that had painted them up, and I liked the silver and emerald green as they're described in the Unicolor Compendium. So a very, and actually I have, funny enough, so I got both of them here. So
God.
So 2 Mad Dogs.
See, you got to rub it in my face, because I wanted.
Everybody knows that you wanted it, and both of them are Jade Falcon.
Kevin and I both bid on this model, and Tom wasn't having it.
I even lied to Kevin and told him that I'd leave it on the side for him, and I couldn't do it. I had to paint it. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Kevin. He's gonna lose.
Oh my God.
And so you can see, so they're very different, but they're also still Jade. These guys, this is the test model, so they're not even. This is just washed. It's a gray bottom, and then an emerald green top with a layer of metallic silver. Because
I love the cockpits. I like how gold. Sort of the lime, if you will, and the red contrast, but then you have the darker green. I think if you did the red, it would look too Christmassy.
Yeah.
So I love that you did the gold.
The gold, yeah.
On that. Looks really good.
Yeah, and so and my understanding too is that Omega Galaxy really did sort of fill in units across the Jade Falcon force when I was reading on Sarna. I apologize if I get any of this wrong. Feel free to correct it. Does not hurt my feelings. So
only mine.
But yeah, so those are the three forces, and you know, if we want to, we can just put them next to each other and pretend like they're different. So I'm pretty excited to be able to represent all those different forces.
Yeah.
And they do kind of go across, I think, the periphery and the first wave battles that happen. I think we can cover that pretty well.
Yeah, yeah.
And then lastly, the one could not help but paint up the unique, and everybody should know who that is.
Oh my God, the one and only Nikolai Malthus.
The one and only Nikolai Malthus. So I painted up his Thor.
So good. It's so good.
Yeah.
I love it.
It was actually a hard mech to paint from Canon because, you know, you had so many references. You had the 3D art from the animated show.
Right.
You had the old action figure, the really big one.
Oh, so good.
So I tried to keep the white to where it matched
so
up on the old one. So there's 2 stripes on the lower leg. The guns are banded in white, and then he's got sort of a chevron on the center, and then a blue cockpit. And then like on the Timberwolf 2, you can see the effect I landed on for the missile pods for the LRMs.
Yeah, I was going to ask you to show that. So good. So good.
So he has it and he has it. So I did a white and then yellow tipped for the missiles because, again, if I remember reading, I think that was sort of what Jade Falcon's LRMs looked like. They were yellow tipped. But when I first painted it, and we can probably show the progress pics at some point, or I can do it on Facebook or something. The white was just like garish. It really did not look
bright,
right.
Yeah.
And Aaron had the good idea, again, from his expertise in washing. He's like, just hit it with a really hard wash.
Just so I hide all my errors.
Yeah.
I just overwash everything.
Right. And so like I did a couple layers of wash, really, and we actually had the idea too to lay the mech. So after I put the wash down, I would do each corner of the missile box and then lay it on its back like that, so that it didn't go down, but that it stayed pulled in the edges, and that made like a world of difference. Yeah. And then I just had to go through and sort of tap the tips of the missiles again with the yellow. And I've got a ton of I painted all of the I'll just lay them out so you can see them all because people really like them. So the Shadow Cat, I got my Mist Lynx.
Beautiful.
Ice Ferret, do the Gargoyle, which
one of my favorites.
What an amazingly designed mech. Again, the design team for Catalyst, like there's some mechs that really knock it out of the park. Really, you know, came
just
through.
Really good.
Yeah, and then the Hellbringer, again, another really nicely designed mech. Yeah. Very great.
And I mean, how much they just look so good when they are painted.
And I was gonna say too, and my experience painting these versus painting 3D mechs versus painting Alpha Strike mechs versus painting the metal ones from Ironwind. The definition, just the one place that really got me on these was the definition in the cockpit made painting them night and day. Yeah. I mean, especially, they're so deep, and so you can get this really beautiful edge on your cockpits. The texture on the mechs too, when you wash them with the 3D models, and again,
you get some of the
ridges that some of them have, and like the defects in that printing. Some of these are again a little bit like wonky. The arms aren't quite right, all that, but overall they're great. And then this is a Viper, pretty cool. Another cool mech. And then getting through the rest, my Executioner, which again, so cool. Probably my favorite design mech. I love the one shoulder guard.
Yes.
I realized too, I'm actually gonna, the little backpack thing he's got going on, I noticed on the one representation was like a lot more indented, so I think I'm gonna try to paint that a different color.
Yeah.
But the eyes, the cockpit with the eyes and the undermounted guns, it's so good.
So good.
Just so good.
It's so good, yeah.
And then the Grendel. And then the Nova, which is one of the goofiest, and I just kind of love it because the arm things are so ridiculous.
I mean, listen,
he's awesome.
If you don't have enough medium lasers.
Yeah, he'll get you for that. And then the Adder, I love this mech. I always loved the mechs with the canopies or missile shields. I'm not sure what they're supposed to be. And then last but not least, Aaron was liked my elementals. I had a tough time painting them.
I love them.
But they turned out good. I'll put these guys down.
Yeah, we'll get close-ups. I'll probably flash them up.
Yeah, and so I didn't get any extra elementals, and I kind of regretted it just because they were, at the end of the day, fun to paint. I really like the jetpack effect, and actually I can do one like this and one like that. So I'd originally hit them up with like a red, orange, yellow, pretty bright, because again I saw something on Facebook and I was like, oh, that looks great, because I was originally going to do like just a gray smoke. And then I did that, and it was a little bit too much, and I think even like Scroggins had mentioned, he's like, that's not really what jetpacks look like. They're not like hot flame. Yeah. So I toned it down with a little bit of black when I was fixing up the bases with the dry airbrush. So now they're kind of like a lot more dark, and you can just see a little bit of that color coming through. Yeah. I gave them each like a commander with a red helmet, and then they each have the yellow and then one yellow shoulder pad. So that's my Jade Falcon force. I hope you like it. Again, let me know what you think. If there's anything you change, again, it doesn't hurt my feelings. Yeah. This is my first time airbrushing.
Yeah, I think you did a great job.
Yeah, I talked to a lot of people on the Battletech painting and customization page. They were super helpful, both in figuring out what supplies I needed, and then even some like techniques and talking through some issues. I also asked about like, what should I paint, different things. I had a big thing about Comstar. So all the IS mechs I got. Yeah. So I didn't bring any of them because, again, I focused to get the Jade up so that we could start doing some bat reps. And because Comstar doesn't really come into this stuff until later in the invasion. Yeah. Right? So, so all of my clan mechs are Jade Falcon, and all of my IS mechs are going to be Comstar. I don't think we have any other Comstar, so I thought I would represent that. Yeah,
we do not.
Yeah, so that was another one, like, they're just white? Like, they're just white? Nah. So we got to figure out a way to sort of give them a little bit more. And I haven't started prototyping them yet, but I think it's going to be white. And I saw some really cool representations with some, like, gray checker pattern, like a really subtle ghost checker pattern. I was thinking either maybe doing, like, half of them in that, or the bottom.
Man, with the airbrush and, like, a template or something.
Yeah, somebody said there was some cool masking that you could buy for that sort of thing. So,
dude, that would be amazing.
I might try out some different stuff.
Very cool. All right, dude. Well, really nice job on all that.
Thank you.
Beautiful. I do say so myself.
Yeah. Sorry it took me so long to paint something.
Hey, listen, you were just waiting for the clan invasion, so no time like the present. So I did some things.
Things.
I did some things. So I went to town. Yeah. Went to town on my thing. Not only did I go to town with the paintbrushes, I went to town with the X-Acto knife. Yeah. I was inspired by.
Bold. You're bold.
I was like playing with the Hellbringer, you remember, on video, and I was like, oh. And I was painting one of my Mistlinks, and I realized the arm was socketed.
I noticed that too.
So I took apart my Stormcrow, I took apart my Mistlinks, I bought an entire new Command Lance as well on eBay. I managed to get one at a fairly decent price.
We should have bought more masks.
And I just hacked them apart. So I'll show some pictures of me hacking them apart. But before I get to the mods...
No, I want to... Did you magnetize anything?
I didn't. I didn't. You know, I'll get there. I'll get there. Wave 2.
Okay.
But...
I was too excited to... I just
wanted to get them done. Yeah.
I didn't actually... I will mention too, I didn't even really take down any casting defects with a file or anything. I should have on a couple of them. They're not bad. They're not bad. I have to say. There was a couple where you see like the seam lines, and when I washed them, it kind of wasn't great, but very minimal. Very minimal. Honestly, my old method was using the side of an X-Acto knife and like scraping them.
I don't know how that would work on the plastic.
Did not work at all. It just...
Oh, it doesn't? Just shreds the... Yeah.
Yeah, it gives it that weird... Yeah, and it did not work, so I gave up.
That's what I'd be afraid of.
I think you need like a file, like a real nice fine...
Yeah, like I have files, but they're old and clogged with resin. So...
Can you like blow them out? Whatever. Let's move on.
Moving on. So we'll start with... The one thing I wanted to show was... I'll start with the Adrian Knights. Okay. It was like the first thing I painted. I was like, ah! Yeah. So I have a Marauder from the old 3rd edition box set. That's like one of the first mechs I ever painted. I recently repainted it in an Adrian Knights color. Well, this is the new one.
Okay, I was going to say this is the replacement. A lot better than I remembered.
Yeah. So
where's the old one?
It's still on the shelf. But this is moving in. It was a tough decision.
You're not going to bring it out and show it?
if you want to grab it,
I'm going to grab it. All right. Hold on. Let him talk. I'll be right back.
So it's, you'll see it. So anyway, here we are. So this Marauder, Love the design. Now, I did modify this one slightly. I repositioned the torso.
It's so funny.
I also cut the cannon off on this one and aimed it up. I don't know if you remember the old 30-25 technical readout where the gun's like... So I tried to do that.
Artillery cannon, yeah.
I tried to do that with this one a little bit.
What is the cannon on its back anyway?
So on the original one, it's an autocannon 5. On other variants, it's a large laser. On other variants, on the newer ones, it's a Gauss rifle or an LBX-10 or LB-10X, whatever you prefer.
Why is it so big?
Because it's big. Okay. But here's the old one.
Yeah. So wow, they're not too far off though.
No, not too far off. Not too far off. Yeah. I mean, if we look at them.
But wow, like just. Yeah.
But it's bigger. So let's talk about scale. I actually brought. Second thing I want to show is this archer.
Ooh, I love it.
I didn't mod this one at all, but you know, looks good. But I did bring a couple of the new Game of Armored Combat mechs out, right? So here's what we got. A nice 65, 70, 75, 80 tons. Yeah. And it looks, right, like it makes sense.
Yes, there you go. That's right? Exactly what you would expect.
That's exactly what you would expect.
And the Direwolf's what, 100?
Direwolf is 100, so you can throw that puppy up there, and you can see.
Yeah,
right? I mean, it does dwarf the catapult, right? Yeah. I mean, and if you were a 65-ton mech looking at a 100-ton assault mech, I mean, this is what you would feel like.
Yeah.
That's so very insignificant.
And then he's 85, you said?
He's 80.
Yeah, so let's
he's
see
80.
He's still, I mean, yeah, top down you can see too, like just how much
just
more mech there is there.
And it's great, right? It gives you that sense of scale, and really, you know, I think it does wonders for the game. So,
do you have the rest to fill in the mediums there?
I do not. Maybe one day we'll do the whole thing. But there's some fresh Adrian Knights I'm very excited about.
I always love that camo. How do you? I don't know. You want to get into it? I was gonna say, how do you paint the? I haven't done camo yet, and I've been like kind of itching to try it.
So what I do when I do my camo, and this was inspired by a Camo Specs video. When I first started painting, before we started the channel, when I got back into this, I was like, how do I do this? And basically what I do is, you prime them, you base them.
Okay, and you base them whatever your main color is. Like those guys would be like a light gray?
They're like, let's call it a medium gray.
Okay.
And then I go a dark gray, thick stripe.
Okay.
And then I outline that on both sides with a white stripe.
With the lighter color, okay.
Then I wash the whole thing. And that kind of pulls the camo together.
That makes sense, yeah. Okay.
So, and it comes out, I think, pretty well.
I always like it, yeah. It's a very cool looking, especially like on this map, it looks really cool.
Yeah.
Like it looks like the right kind of camo for this terrain, which is super cool.
All right, so another one. This is not a new unit, so I'll show this next. I did my Oberon Guard.
Yeah.
So this is the new Phoenix Hawk.
The Orange Guard.
The Phoenix Hawk, I think, is an awesome model.
What a great, yeah, everybody's been saying that. Like, it's a really,
so cool.
And especially, they were talking about in terms of, like, old to new, most improved. You're talking about, like, your varsity player, like,
this is a good one.
Yeah.
But this thing just absolutely gorgeous, in my opinion.
Love the colors, too. The orange is, I've been dying to paint something like orange or yellow.
Thank you. And so Warhammer also, from that set, this is the Intersphere Battle Lance, which I incidentally added a new one to our Wave 2. I added a second Battle Lance because I want more Warhammers.
I was going to say, I think we need to buy more mechs.
We do need to buy more mechs.
I thought this was going to be a crazy amount, but then I'm like, where's the rest?
I need more.
Yeah. And Wave 2 is not until what?
Like March, maybe? Yeah, I don't think they've announced yet.
I'm already itching.
I'm itching, man. So I love the Warhammer. I think it's a great model. The detail's phenomenal. It doesn't look goofy. No. And again, when you look at the scaling, right? 70 tons, they look the same.
Yeah.
So really well done.
And the weapons on these guys, not a metallic. It looks like just
so for the Oberon, I did a flat gray.
Okay.
And for all my mechs, for all the different factions, I do them a little different, as you'll see.
Yeah.
But the details. So if you look at the gun barrel, right, it's got the little holes, little whatever they are, like heat dissipators or
sound. I think isn't that what they're for?
Maybe.
Or shot.
Like it's like a muzzle. Yeah. It's like a muzzle suppressor, or a muzzle brake, or whatever they call that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. To kind of So overall, exactly. So all of the details. I mean, and you know, very simple. I just painted and washed it. I did not do a ton of work on this.
You don't, with these new models, you really don't need to. Yeah.
Right. And I'm not going for a golden demon. I want to make them look good on the battle report, and you know, again, very easy to do. I think, you know, because you've got some really good detail on all of these models.
Yeah. And this is the first time we're seeing each other's mechs in person. We've been sending text messages, but I love, and just the shade of red and everything. Yeah, like I love the colors on these Oberon guys.
Yeah, thanks.
So very cool. Nice job.
Thank you. And this is a wasp.
Amazing. Yeah.
I was gonna glue more antenna to it, and I may down the road. You know, I have the little.
He always had the two things, right?
Four. He's got the two on each side, right? And I have the little spots where I could glue them on there, but just again wanted to get done painting. Didn't want to was lazy.
Yeah.
Was lazy. Wanted to get done. But really cool. I mean, the cockpit, if you notice, right, has that sort of that new style vertical. You know, very different looking than the old Wasp, which was sort of more like the T-shaped visor, I guess. Love the running stance, the SRM on the leg, you know, all very cool. And I did bring a Commando out of the new box set. I painted him up a while back.
Silver cockpits?
I did, yeah. I did the silver cockpits on these guys.
Nice.
And you know, again, brought them out for a scale comparison, 25 tons, 20 tons.
Oh, yeah.
Just perfect, I think.
So you should probably do them like that.
You know, just perfect. Like there is attention to detail, right?
Yeah, I do like that they kept the Commando's pose.
Yes.
He always had one of the best poses in the game, I think.
Yeah. You should just blast him with that.
Yeah, just like such
gauntlet
a cool
SRM.
Yeah. Love it.
Always remember this one from the MechWarrior 2 Mercenaries intro. Really cool. Anyway, so those are the Oberon Guard that I painted up. You know, the Battle Lance, almost. The Valkyrie I have coming up next. That I think was also in that box. Was it the Valkyrie in that box? Oh no, it was the Rifleman. And you know, I did the Rifleman.
Good.
I have it. I didn't bring it over to show, but maybe I'll flash up a picture of it if you guys are lucky. We'll see.
Can't even
and by lucky means if I remember when I'm editing this video. So let's talk about my last Inner Sphere faction. This was inspired by Tom.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I feel dirty inside for having Death Commandos, right? Any Capellans, I feel dirty. And we were talking about, you know, what would be good matchups for battle reports, and Tom, you stumbled across Winfield's company, or Winfield's brigade, rather.
Winfield's brigade, yeah.
Winfield's brigade. So they're, you know, I guess Winfield was like its own house or something back in the day. They have their own like way back in the day, and they got I think, you know, brought into the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
But they're green.
And they're
green and
black.
black.
World, yeah.
Yeah, they're green and black. And they were a huge part. They were like right in the Invasion Carter. So I took my Death Commandos, which were already green and black, and I added some color. I added some detail to them, and then I painted up a bunch of the new ones. So what we've got here.
From Unicolor Compendium, right? I think.
That and Camo Specs. Yeah, I think it's on both. I looked at both of those places for inspiration, and Sarna as well, of course.
Yeah.
So this is the Marauder. Really happy the way this turned out. So I did that titanium effect.
I know, I love the titanium effect.
I love it too. I've done it a lot recently on a couple of things. I did it on the Lance Pack, the Swordsworn Lance Pack, and another unit as well. But this is like my first, like, you know, channel studio army, if you will, that I'm going to do it on. So that was one addition. And they're ready for action, man. So anyway, so Winfield Regiment, they got the titanium barrels, you know, green on the. I did green on the calf, you know, the lower legs basically, and on the shoulders as well, and some other details. So the next one I'll show you is a Thunderbolt, and I just love this mech. So Tom mentioned I bought this giant magnifying glass, but it's like on like an arm, like a, you know, opposable arm, and it's got a ring of LEDs.
Is it a Tamiya? Who?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
it was on Amazon.
Oh, okay.
You know, it was like $40, but it was worth it. It's got three sets of brightnesses. It's got a nice stand.
Yeah, heavy.
And I will tell you,
clips built into it or no?
It does. Yeah, you can clip it. You can remove it from the. Oh no. Like it can clip onto a table.
Some of them have like the weird like Dr. Octopus arms.
Oh. Yeah, no, that's weird. I don't want that. You creep me out.
Yeah. Then what do you like? I guess then you can like paint with two hands.
I don't know. You two different brushes.
Yeah. The ambidextrous painter. That'd be my new YouTube channel.
So I did, again, I did the titanium effect, and I took a little risk on this, and I did sort of the titanium effect on the missile barrel from both ends. So
I mean, and that's what would happen. You know
that the heat from the initial explosion, and then out the front where it would blast out.
The only thing I would do is maybe wash that a little bit. Get into those.
I do need to wash them. I think I'm going to wash the legs, the green as well.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice you didn't wash these.
I did not.
Yeah, okay.
I did not.
Nope. Edit that out.
Yeah, no, it's a good call.
Yeah, I think once you wash them, it's going to both just make that green pop, and also the titanium effect will have that, that sort of worn metal sheen to it that I like. Yeah, it's going to be great.
So that's that one. We got an archer. So this is the legendary archer.
Yeah.
Very cool. I did,
He's got that crouching pose, right? That's the difference.
And you know what? It is. And so he's much, well, not much, but a little bit smaller than the other one. But, when I first saw them, I hated it. But now that I painted it, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I was curious to see. I haven't painted mine yet. So my issue with them was that I noticed, like, around the crouching leg area, the definition was a little washed out, I think.
Yeah.
But
it comes out pretty good.
Yeah, and you were able to get a really good...
Courtesy of that magnifying glass.
I was going to say,
do
is that what you were doing?
Look, I can even paint the cockpit of the Thunderbolt. It's like a miracle. It's a miracle device. So this last one, I know.
I didn't realize how tiny that was.
It's really tiny. So this last one, the Valkyrie. So this is awesome. I love this mech. I love the design. It's such a cool little mech.
The really chunky little antenna.
This was one that I think I mentioned this last time. Ryan from Camo Specs showed us his. It was next level. But I feel good about mine. And
it's
so.
Fine.
It's okay. It's fine. So I've got. I think I have 8 or 9 or 10. Winfield's Regiment mechs painted. I got a Wolverine, the Griffin, a Locust, an Atlas from Polygon.
Oh yeah, that Atlas is pretty good.
Yeah, and I think maybe only have 8.
Yeah, not to get sidetracked. I'm trying to remember. So like a Clan Star is 5, a Lance is 4.
Yeah.
Typically, what's like the matchup?
They say 2 Lances to 1 Star,
really,
but I'll be honest with you. I mean, we'll have to see. It's weird, we talked about this. We can digress for a moment.
Yeah, let's digress.
If you talk about battle value, and you talk about classic Battletech.
Okay.
Question for all you classic jockeys out there: do you play with the force multiplier or not? Because the force multiplier
even for clan stuff, you're talking
right. Because if you play 8 Inner Sphere mechs against their 5 clanners, I mean your battle value is going through the roof. But it's supposed to, it's supposed to be roughly equal, so it's interesting. Again,
yeah, because you'd be
Alpha
2 to
Strike,
1.
it's basically 2 to 1, yeah.
And what would that
your
mean?
force multiplier goes through the roof. So I don't know off the top of my head, but let's say it's like 1.5. Like you multiply all your battle value by 1.5, which means either the clan player gets more points to play with, right? So I don't know. We'll see.
That's a really interesting, like the reality of clan on the tabletop. Wow, that's a good thing. And I was just thinking too, in terms of like time to play.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to move 2 mechs for every one of mine just to start with if you're playing Inner Sphere, and we're trying. Yeah, I mean we'll have to build up some forces, some lances and stuff. But I think you're probably right because the battle values on these are so high.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna play point value anyway. I can tell you that much. We'll do a little
all the way.
Yeah, I mean it'll be so much easier. I was talking to some guy on the comments. He was asking questions about, or maybe it was over email, about the targeting computer. Our custom dice, right? Our pilot die and how it interacts with, when you're firing like cluster shot, LB10X and how that interfaces with targeting computer and pulse lasers and it's
Artemis.
And as I was explaining it to him, I was like, my God, there are so many things to remember, right? There's so many modifiers when you're playing with this level of technology. It's one of the reasons I really enjoy Alpha Strike because it's all built into the card.
It's abstracted.
It does make it a little easier because you know what? I want to play with all these mechs, and I want to be able to do it in like 1 or 2 nights. Playing.
Yeah.
So anyway, again, digression. But let me move these off because I got a few other things here to show you. So I too painted a whole bunch of clan mechs, Tom. And I
don't believe you.
It's true. It's true. It happened. And I'm an assembly liner.
In secret.
I'm an assembly liner, so I don't have them all done, but I did finish a few for tonight.
Wait, so when you hold on, when you say assembly liner, what does that mean? You're completing one mech at a time?
No. Like
okay,
it's like okay,
that's what I do too.
Base coat, arms again, wash.
Because you don't want to have
body,
to clean
dry
brushes
brush.
over and over.
Yeah,
again.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So I did Clan Wolf. Still got to clean up the bases a little bit on a couple of them, as you can see here. But
I love a good brown mech, to be honest. I'm like an Earthshades kind of guy. I think.
Well,
interestingly.
So this is I believe,
you would
the
know
Theta,
it from paint.
The Theta Galaxy.
Theta.
And this is what they look like. They got the white arms. They got the brown. The sort of terracotta colored. Body and legs. I gave them bronze cockpits.
Bronze,
and I did, like a bright silver on the weapons.
This isn't gunmetal. That's silver.
Yeah, I mean, I basically I base it in like an ash color so that it's not too bright. But
did you line highlight this, or did you wash it?
I washed it and then I panel highlighted it.
Okay, because there's no way I thought you could get that white with a wash. That looks great.
Yeah, thank you.
And again,
I did wash the whole arm in brown as well. So to kind of blend the arm a little bit in, so it was more. I didn't want it to be too much contrast, but I think it came out pretty good. So
that's good balance.
Very excited. So I did all of my dudes basically minus 4 of them, which I'm saving for wave 2. I might do Snow Raven or Ghost Bear or Hell's Horses. I don't know. We talked about that. I'm not really sure. But
and Kevin's doing what? Ghost Bear?
Kevin's got his Ghost Bear painted up. He's working on them. But it's just basic stuff. I did the jump jets and the vents and stuff in silver. Added a little bit of silver here and there. I didn't go crazy with the detail. I think with these mechs you literally could go crazy with the detail because there's so much to do.
I've seen all that edge highlighting stuff. It just, when I look at how small these mechs are, I don't get it. I don't know how.
Some guys are really good at it.
They're just so good at it. Yeah, I'll leave it to them. Honestly.
Yep.
I'll work to it one day.
Yeah. I did like a sort of like a sienna, I guess, kind of like a very almost like yellowish brown dry brush to kind of catch the edges.
Okay.
Yeah, very faint. Nothing too crazy. And
I just thought it was the wash. That's cool. Yeah, it's nice. It's not too much.
Yeah, I didn't want to go too crazy with it. But overall, I'm excited with them. I like the way they turned out. Very simple. So Clan Wolf, Clan Jade Falcon, Clan Ghost Bear. We checked all the major boxes, I think.
Yeah.
So I'll show you some of the mods I've got going on, and then we can talk.
I'm excited.
So we can talk what we're doing in terms of bat reps. So I'll put my Wolf guys down here. There they are. So the first thing I did here was real simple. So I will tell you, it's a stinger. Not much going on here. This is a great mech. I will tell you, all of these little guys, if you're very careful, you can actually just bend them. You can bend the arms.
Oh, yeah.
You can. Some of them you can actually move the heads. This one you definitely cannot. But yeah, you can move these. You can actually pose them. If I wanted to move this arm, I can do that and aim the laser down. Pretty cool, right? It slowly comes up. But what you do is you get a little X-Acto knife. You cut into the almost like the plastic tendon, and you drop a little tiny piece of glue in there, and just hold it, and it'll stay.
That's a good call. Yeah, it's almost like a spacer or something.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So that's the stinger. I did not do extensive work there.
So wait, what did you do to him?
Nothing. I just moved the arm.
Just that arm.
Just maybe this one too. I think I actually pulled this arm back. So okay. Valkyrie. So I actually cut the legs off the base on this one. All right. Now one little pro tip. If you look at the base, some of them have these little circles on them underneath. See that?
Yeah.
Some of them do not. If they have little circles, it means they're pegged into the base. They're a little harder to get off. If they don't, they just pop right off.
Yeah. And are they glued or what?
They're glued.
Just a little glue?
Some strange Chinese glue. Sometimes it comes off really easily, sometimes it does not. But I pulled this one off the base. I sort of sliced into it at the torso and twisted the torso, and I adjusted the arms. So here is the stock Valkyrie. All right. and here is the modified one. So you can see the legs are a little bit repositioned.
Oh yeah.
I've sort of pulled his arm out a little bit. This guy's gun is down. It's not wildly different, but you know.
I'm going to take notes about how I can complain on the table when you beat me. And be like, well, you know, you moved him and he's not really facing forward anymore, and that's why you couldn't.
That's why you got cover,
arc.
bro.
Yeah, you shouldn't have done that, man.
Yep.
Yeah, that's me.
Well, you know, it'll happen. But listen, the moral of the story here, a little salt. The moral of the story is,
it was great though.
It wasn't a crazy post, right? It wasn't like I really didn't go nuts with it. I just, again, I did
when
this.
You have multiples of stuff, it's good to get some variety.
Exactly. It was just for a little bit of variety, and it was very easy to do. If I really wanted to go to town, what you said, magnets. You can cut the legs and you know, make them like in a running pose. You can, you know, and I'll leave that to the Camo Specs guys, or when I have more free time. But so that's the Valkyrie. The next one I did here.
Big boy.
This is the Archer. Let's talk about the Archer. So this was a major repose. This guy
there's the other Archer.
Yeah, so this one I cut at the waist. I cut the legs off. So basically each leg, the pelvis section, so totally reposed, right? Yeah. I also closed one of the missile launchers here. So I'll swing them around so you can look at it. And you can see, you know, his torso is twisted to the left instead of the stock pose, which is to the right. I didn't do much with the arms. I did pull the one arm up just a little bit.
Now, I am curious about like actual mechanics of these guys. When do they open up their LRM
I
base?
imagine when they're firing.
And do they close after they fire, like in between a round?
That's what I imagine. Is that while they're reloading, it would close.
Interesting.
I don't know. Tell us what you think.
Yeah, I'm curious if anybody knows. But
yeah, you know, and I also pulled this guy off the base, his legs, and repositioned them.
Are they a little bit wider?
It's not too much wider, but they're just turned and
he's got kind of a pigeon toe thing going on there.
Right,
so
the stock one,
more.
I twisted them out a little bit. Yeah, or you know, when I glued them basically. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I did with.
That's
a
good.
I like
it. The fixed leg really is noticeable.
And this one I did quite a bit too.
What's different? Is that legendary one any different at all?
Well, so this legendary one I reposed.
Oh, you did repose.
Yeah, I moved the torso and I changed the gun. I do have another legendary one over there, but it's only half painted.
But I don't remember. They don't have different fit outs, right? That's one of the mechs that's pretty much the same.
It's pretty much the same. It's just got the gun is sort of twisted to the autocannons to the side, and it's twisted way to the side.
No, that's what I was I did notice that too on mine. The gun on this one especially is very droopy on mine. How do you fix that when it's not like a joint? You think you can just sort of like...
Oh, it's a joint.
I mean the barrel itself, like even this one's pretty good.
So this one...
Mine was pretty bad.
So this one Oh, you mean it was like sagged?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
A flaccid barrel.
A flaccid barrel, yeah, like almost like
I don't have that problem.
Looney Tunes, you know, whatever.
My Marauders don't have that problem, Tom.
It's a real problem, Aaron. It's not a joke.
If your barrel stays straight for more than 4 hours, call a dropship. So, yeah, that's a great question. I would imagine you could probably heat them up a little bit.
Yeah, maybe like a hot water bath or something.
Yeah, and try to like bend them.
I have a heat gun too.
Yeah, I would be real careful. Like even just a hairdryer a little bit, and then try to...
Not my 1800 degree heat gun.
Aaron,
it didn't work.
Just come with a puddle, like a painted puddle of a mech.
Yeah, he's in level 3 underground.
Level 3 barrel work.
Yeah, barrel work.
So anyway, so what did I do with this mech? Well, the first thing is, if you look at it from the side, the right leg is back, right? And its toes are on the ground. It's sort of about to pick its leg up to walk forward versus, on this one, it was on a peg, right? You can see the peg in the stock one, right?
So you cut that peg? I see it.
Cut the peg out, yeah.
But weird, that one doesn't go through, it's up.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
somewhere down, somewhere up.
Yeah, this, one of them was,
Makes
like
sense.
I said, yeah. So anyway, I did that, and then, moved the leg, and essentially, twisted the torso. Like, this guy is twisted to the right, this guy twisted to the left, so he's a little bit more straight on, and then I reposed him on the base when I glued the legs down, so he was facing a little bit of a different direction. Again, minor changes, but enough that when you have a bunch of different Marauders, you know.
You're going to have a whole lance just of
Marauders.
Star Marauders, yeah.
Well, it's going to be like the all-star team. You'll just pick them from each faction. So I think this is going to be Altenmark Militia. I think the Archer, the Marauder, this actually I might do an Altenmark, I'm sorry, Adrian Knights colors, but I think these two are going to be Altenmark. This guy's TBD right now.
So what's Altenmark look like?
They're the red and white.
Oh, okay, the half and half. I like.
Yeah.
That's another one I want to try out is the half and half paint.
Yeah.
There's some cool ones.
I like the way they look. I mean, they allegedly get wiped out in the clan invasion, like Winfields.
Most of them do.
But you know what?
I just want to warn you.
They're coming back, guys. They're going to come back. I mean, they're going to get
reformed.
So
Winfields comes back as like a merc. A merc, you know, right? And I bet they do the same. Or
I'm going to say they do. Because I mean, why not? So anyway, so that's what I did here with these guys. You know, and so you saw some pictures flash up. I think you know, where I basically hacked them up, right?
Yeah.
Don't be afraid.
They're just plastic.
They're just plastic,
and you can always glue them back together.
They're much easier to work with than the metal. I did a little bit of modeling putty on some of these, where I cut into like the Archer, especially. I really mangled its torso in there, but I did use some modeling putty to fill in. You can see the gaps.
Like where you gouged it a little bit. Okay.
And it just just smear it in, put a little glue on there. It's good to go.
And once you paint it,
you're not going to notice. So you know, if you got doubles, you know, I just want to let you know it's possible. Again, mislinks.
I mean, doubles. You mean like these guys I had?
You see this? You see what I put up with here? Grab your mislinks for me. Where's that guy? The little guy. Where the heck? Oh, here he is, up front there. So you can see mine. I reposed. Mine looks so cool.
I like his little fanny pack.
His little butt packs. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can see I reposed mine.
Oh yeah, it looks like garbage. I mean, what? No, I'm kidding.
Yours, you mean? Stock. Yeah. So I did a little.
He does have kind of like a. He's kind of a little like, closed off. Your guy's a little more open.
Well, he's more in a running stance.
What is my guy doing?
I did a little bit of a torso twist. So if you notice, yours is not really looking straight out the hex space, which is fine. You know, but mine's just cooler. So that is one of the ones like the Stormcrow where the arms are literally on pegs, and you can just pop them right off. Don't you dare try it. Don't you dare.
There he goes. He's looking forward now.
So they are very malleable, which I think
fun.
is really cool. And again, you just kind of slice in them, put a little glue, it'll hold them in place. All right, so let's check this out. Let's check this out.
I'm not ready. This is the Death Star. I'm not sure what I'm looking at here.
This is Biodome.
Probably sure. One of my favorite movies.
We're not. It never goes like that.
Oh, okay.
Never goes like that again. Never.
So you're still using it as terrain?
So I will tell you a few things, guys. Number one, I tried to prime this like 6 times. First thing I recommend you do is wipe it down with acetone. I tried scrubbing it with soap. So normally, right, I have a 40K Titan. Like I know how to work with resin, right? Tons of Forge World stuff.
All resin.
All resin. Normally, soap, water, a good nylon, like nylon scrub brush.
Yeah,
right?
There's not that much release agent, right?
Right. This had more release agent than like an entire factory of Forge World stuff, I think.
They must have had trouble with this. I would love to hear the backstory, to be honest, on like what kind of issues they encountered with this.
So I washed the whole thing with acetone, and actually I used a steel brush. I'm not joking. Actually, the brass.
Oh yeah, okay.
Brass.
Brass. Yeah, the brass brushes.
The brass brushes, which are a little stronger than the nylon, right? Yeah. But it wasn't a steel one. And I scrubbed it pretty hard.
Yeah, look at all the
you can see it just stuff. So I scrubbed the living crap out of it. Yeah. Did not hold it. Scrubbed the paint off of it. I ended up wiping the whole thing down in acetone, and then I hosed it. And I washed it in alcohol, 99% isopropyl, because it dries real quick and it got all the flakes and the crap off.
Right.
And then I hit it with acid etch primer.
Yeah, I remember you talking. Yeah, okay, now I remember this.
You can get this at like an auto parts store. I've used this on particularly difficult things. And you can see when I scratch it, the paint doesn't come off, thank God. So it is primed. Now I do need to sand it. There are a couple of, the problem with this primer is like it drips, like
it's real thick.
It's thick.
Yeah.
It's meaty, and it could have just been me for like my frustration. I was like crying spread.
Are you trying to get me to airbrush this?
No.
Is that where this is going?
No, it's not going there. I think I'm gonna hit this with a metallic primer, like a nice
I could just airbrush it for you.
Yeah, I mean, you could. You could.
Could turn out pretty good.
Could turn out pretty good. I do need to sand off some of the drips, but I did want to give you guys the pro tip. I do think this would look great as terrain, frankly. I do. I'm gonna put like I'm gonna put a little antenna in here. I think.
That'd be cool.
You know, I'm gonna do some things. We could put like the little turrets that we have in there, or I could just put like a little cotton. You know, make it like little smokestacks. This I think could go with the biodomes that we have. You know.
Yeah. Like
you could just run them right off the. I think I'm gonna repaint those to match this, or you could take them all and airbrush them.
Yeah, I mean, with like big stuff like this, I feel like the airbrush is good because you don't have to worry about brush marks, and it'll get a real nice.
But dropship, very cool.
I mean, so, you are a dedicated enthusiast, I must say. I think
there's enough detail in this that it would look good.
It's not detailed.
You know, on the board. You know, I don't know where I can put it here. I'll just
give it a nice paint. You know, it'll.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go crazy with it. I do think that what I'm going to do is just hit it with a little bit of chrome or like, metallic. I think a darker metallic, and then wash it and just leave it. You know, like the biodome thing. I don't think I'm going to do it in the gold though. I mean, whether the biodome's in gold, I think I'm going to do the whole thing in a different color. Anyway,
I was thinking too, with how deep and thick these lines are, I would maybe not even do like. I might maybe do line washing.
Yeah. Because
they're so big and flat, like, you'll get that weird pooling, I bet.
Maybe.
If you just hit them.
Yeah.
Like drop the paint into all the things, that might be a really good way to do it. And then you don't have to do so much touch up. But yeah, I mean, dude, I love it. I love that you have so many different units painted up.
Yeah, we're ready to go. We're ready.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm sticking with the all Comstar. I'm just I actually so even though I have all the Comstar, my duplicates of the Inner Sphere mechs I did set aside, so I still have like maybe 8 more mechs.
Yeah.
That I could do something else with.
Okay.
And I'm always thinking about like what we don't have represented. Kevin has a lot of the what's called Fed Sun stuff, right? Or Maris and.
No, he's got like Tarian Concordat and Draconis Combine.
Draconis, that's what I was thinking.
And Ghost Bear and something else maybe.
Who are like the North Korean ones?
Palins. Oh yeah, that's right. He's got House Po Ding. I knew we were forgetting. God, how could I forget Po Ding?
Yeah. So. I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, if call out your favorite Inner Sphere stuff, please let me know.
Tom's open.
Anything interesting? Yeah, I would love to paint something else up. But I'm always looking for ideas.
So a couple things.
Yeah.
I think we're going to start with, Tom and I are debating. We were talking with Kevin about it too. Like, do we start with a campaign right out of the gate? Should we just do like an Alpha Strike campaign, or should we do like a series of kind of one-off bat reps? That way we can get more factions in, test and learn, right?
And that's where I was, we're talking about how's this going to turn out on the board. And my thought is like this is uncharted terrain for us to play. And maybe it's worth us play testing out how the clans work on the tabletop.
Yeah. And
so we can maybe tweak some things if necessary. Mm-hmm. Come up with house rules around, like you were saying, force multipliers, how that plays out.
Yeah.
Before we jump into a campaign where we're putting a lot of time into like writing it out.
Right, the story, the
setting
characters.
Out our units and everything.
Plus it gives time for Patreon subscribers.
Yeah, to weigh in.
Get some named characters in the next campaign too.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting.
Nikolai Malthus Jr.
Dad! he's an elemental.
He's got a little red elemental.
Yeah, guys, get away from my dad.
Yeah, my dad can beat up your dad.
And then Nikolai Malthus, who's your dad? Get away. Oh my God.
Oh man.
But yeah, no, I think it's a good call. I think we really do need to play test this a little bit.
Yeah.
I really don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think Alpha Strike will keep it legit.
Are we going to playtest Classic at all, or just stay...
Man.
Don't even see what it's like? I don't know. Tell us what you think.
Yeah.
and if you're a Patreon subscriber, maybe there's a lot of people who are like, when are you going to get back to Classic? And I'm like, it's really hard to go back to Classic because Alpha's like a lot of fun to play.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's true. It's I mean, Classic is a commitment. It's like a life commitment. It's like a lifestyle commitment.
Yeah.
The life choice. You know, the rules. The thing I worry about with Classic, right, is this. Candid, full disclosure. Our job is to accurately represent a game of Battletech. There is so much to mess up when you get into advanced rules in Classic, right?
That's true.
It's crazy. Like, there is so much to remember. Yeah. You know, I mean, you've got Artemis, AMS, this, that, you know, who's not cased, who's not cased, right? Like, it's not just, I mean, Succession Wars Classic is very straightforward. It's, you know.
Yeah, and that's why we stuck with it, because it really just, you know, it gave you the most satisfying play value.
Yeah.
You weren't getting bogged down in rules and layers and all that stuff. Yeah. And it's just, again, and it's, I always make the comparison to Dungeons and Dragons, which is another game like we play. You know, the comparison between 3.5 and 4 and 5th. 5th is much more about you sitting down and thinking about like the narrative play and like coming up with it rather than looking through 4 sheets of paragraphs of abilities
of special
and,
powers.
Yeah, linking stuff, which is what I do not like about RPGs, tabletop war games. That's why I kind of died off of 40K.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't like, I'm not a huge list builder guy. He's a big list builder guy.
Well, I mean, it's also, right, and it was like the power combos. No, I mean, listen, I love list builders. I don't like the one thing I love about Battletech, and the reason
you can't do that.
You can't
Doesn't
do
matter.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you played War Machine, right? Like we played that with Brian for a little bit. Holy smokes, man!
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you know, two turns you're dead. Like, you know, they do some crazy like teleport up your butthole and then like detonate a goblin in your head, and you're like you're dead.
Sorry.
I mean, that is not the kind of game I want to play. Like, the one thing I really enjoy about Battletech is the strategy, right? The tactics leading up to the engagement. That's why I love playing on the bigger board with the 1-to-1. You can maneuver into position and things like that. Like, that stuff's really what I find engaging about.
And that's what we were afraid of with the more advanced rule sets, is like the cheese factor. Like, how ridiculous does it get? Yeah, I think we can make that decision. Kevin can weigh in, but I think he was on the same side, where we're going to do some small scale stuff, feel it out, see how it goes, tweak some stuff for the campaign rules, and while we're doing that, we can work on our ideas around it. Yeah. Do you want to talk about like campaign ideas?
Sure.
Okay. So
well, you got the campaign ideas. You got some good ones.
I have binders full of campaign ideas. I'm kidding. I have one idea about campaign ideas. So this is where I'm not getting hung up, but where I've been thinking is like, you know, what do people want to see? There's a lot of love of lore and of like canon lore in Battletech. You think of like, people love text talks, they love the books that come out, and there's a lot of excitement around that. And so what does that mean for us? You know, it means, you know, a lot of times we play with merc units because we like coming up with our own backstories, our own sort of ideas. But maybe there's a real love right now of playing out some of those classic clan invasion battles. Like, you know, the Battle of Tukid is a big thing people are pretty excited about that we can work into. Yeah. And that's Comstar, right?
It is Comstar.
That's one of the reasons and that's Jade Falcon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so one of the reasons I sort of picked them is because of Tukid. Like, I love the artwork for it, and just like, I read a little bit about it. I haven't read any of that stuff yet, but... So, I went through, again, Sarna. You know, Sarna is just the place to go.
The place.
To deep dive. It's like
It's such an amazing... I mean, it's probably
the K-hole of
best...
Battletech.
It's like the best wiki on the internet. Bold statements.
Bold statements, fam. So, yeah, and so to go there. So then I did the deep dive in Jade Falcon on Sarna, around, you know, what was their involvement in the clan invasion, start to finish. Right. You know, so it all starts again on the periphery, and with Jade Falcon, you know, the one, and I have my notes here, so don't ignore me right now, but yeah, so the first place that I landed on was von Strang's world.
Okay.
That was one of the first documented battles, that Jade was, I think that was like their first action that they...
Where is that?
That's in the periphery, yeah.
Is that like the Greater Valkyrie or whatever?
It's outside of it. So again, on Sarna, and maybe we can get a picture of it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's sort of outside of that Greater Valkyrie in the periphery. So that was like the first world they hit, and Terkina Keshik was actually, and the Khan himself were involved in that. And there's some great background around that, because the von Strang people were hated. They were descendants of Amaris, I think, Stefan Amaris.
Oh, okay.
And so like there was war crimes involved there that they wanted some revenge for.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on there that could be really good for the backstory and for sort of like the new voiceover work that we're working into the videos.
Yeah.
So if we want to sort of follow like the timeline, that's 3049, I think.
Oh, wow, okay.
So it's before 3050 when the, so then the first wave stuff is 3050. So so if we want, we can hit Periphery and work through that game as a campaign.
Yeah.
You know, depending on how that goes, if maybe I lose or you know,
then the clan invasion's over.
It's just done. Yeah, they cancel. Well, no, I was gonna say maybe then we have to work in another battle in the Periphery, like in the Greater Valkyrie, Goddard de Marung. I'm trying to think of some of the guys. Rhine's Rebels.
Oh yeah, lots of pirate stuff going on out there.
Yeah, so and we could easily work in some of our merc units there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So so that's one idea. So we really work through the timeline.
And the Oberon Confederation's very close to all that stuff. I mean, Clan Wolf hits them first, but who's to say? You know, maybe they didn't go to reinforce, even though they didn't get along with those.
Maybe we intercepted reinforcements.
Yeah, right.
Like
you know, we could work some cool stuff then, but.
And or you know, we skip the Periphery stuff, which isn't really core to a lot of.
Hey, I just painted an entire like company of Periphery dudes. We're playing Periphery, Tom.
Who'd you paint?
The Oberon guys.
Are they Periphery?
Yeah, yeah.
Like straight periphery?
Oh yeah.
Peripherals? You're in my peripherals. You got the peripheral guards coming in on my left.
They're like so the Jade Falcon hits like the Greater Valkyrie, and then I think that's how you say it. And then Wolf hits the Oberon Confederation.
Okay.
But they're like neighbors basically. In space.
Okay.
Space
yeah,
neighbors.
So I ignored everything happening with Wolf, so that's why I don't know.
And we could also do a little Wolf Jade Falcon clan infight. They do fight.
I was going to say all the time.
All the time.
But that's and you guys, I'm not again great about.
We're only like level 4 lore masters.
Yeah. So I think all that stuff happens after like the first and second wave, and then they start to infight with each other.
Like once it starts stalling.
Yeah, and then they just want to start beefing, which is cool. I love the sort of internal beef.
Like alpha clan.
Beef.
Just alpha clanning.
Alpha clan.
Peeing on each other's planets.
So then you get into the first wave stuff, and from there, that's where the Winfield Regiment came in, and that's actually where the conversation came, where you had the idea to repaint those guys.
That was your idea. Oh no, it was my idea to repaint them, but your idea to paint them in the first place.
To paint them in the first place.
I'm just all about reuse.
Yeah, I mean, it was
like,
great.
The Death Commandos, they're not going to use them.
Yeah, and so again, Winfield...
They're not involved in the clan invasion. I was looking on Sarna, they're like...
Yeah.
Basically what they do is they go like mess with other people while they're all fighting the clans. Like, I mean...
they're like raiding, they're like getting toilet paper and stuff, like hoarding the toilet paper supplies. Oh my god.
Chancellor's elite warriors. What is your bidding, master? Oh, I need toilet paper.
Sir, we're out. We're out of toilet paper.
The whole Confederation.
We don't know where it all went. They're like in space with a giant trash bag all at the back of their dropship, just like full of toilet paper. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I'm an idiot.
So good.
But so once you get into wave 1, then you get Donegal Guards, Winfield Regiments.
Ooh, I got some Donegal
Arcturian Guards, right? You have Arcturian, I think?
Donegal. I got Donegal.
Okay.
The Arcturian ones are the cool tiger. They're white with the tiger stripes.
Oh, I have them.
You do have.
I have 4 of them.
You have the Tagita Tigers, but you could reuse them repurpose them into Arcturian Guards.
Because I think I ripped that off of the Arcturian Guards. So.
Well, you know, hey, that is what it is. They look great.
They do.
I think all that would be great. Yeah, and I mean we've got.
Thus ends my book report for 5th grade English.
I love it.
3rd grade English.
We've got Winfield's regiment lined up. We got the Oberon Guard lined up.
Yeah.
We've got also the Adrian Knights who become the Avatar Knights. They're not. I mean, listen, they're actually canon now because my little card. I assume that's canon. Says it. Guys,
Judgment made. It's canon.
It's canon. So they're up there. They're doing stuff, you know, doing merc operations. So, you know, we can work those in to a couple battles.
I think we have to work this drop ship. Maybe the lost drop ship of who?
It's too small to be a drop ship. Map scale. It's not like, you know, like it'd be, you know, remember Kevin's? Like, that's like legit size.
Maybe we could like put it under and just as like...
I like it as a little biodome.
I'm just giving it.
God, you really hate that drop ship.
Bothers me
so much.
I get fixated on stuff.
Yes, we noticed.
Yeah, but yeah. So I mean, we have some cool ideas. Like, again, what do you want to see? Like, do you care about canon stuff? Are there certain battles that like, you know, you read in books? Again, throw some books. I'd read pretty quick.
I don't.
I'm a big fan of reading. It's because I don't sleep. Well, you don't sleep either, but it's because you paint like 10 times the mechs that I paint.
And edit videos.
That's true, yeah, and that takes a lot of time too. Patreon. Oh,
we can hire a video editor. I can outsource it to China.
Oh my god. Or more like Korea, I bet.
Those guys are probably really good. They're really good at StarCraft, so I imagine they're good at video editing. So here's another question.
Yeah.
If we do Alpha Strike, right?
Okay.
I think we'll start maybe with some mech on mech, or we could do some combined arms. Clans don't really use a lot of vehicles, I think, in the initial invasion. They're mostly second line, if I recall, like, you know, like Garrison and things like that. So you'll see them later in like 3057, like, you know, like I remember 3058, like those tech readouts start, you know, it's like when the clan's second line mechs and vehicles show up. I am definitely playing some vehicles against you. For sure.
And if we get enough Patreon subscribers, I'm going to cut my hair and also wear the face paint of Malthus every time I play J Falcon. I'm committing here and now.
Every time. Just
every
the first
single
time.
No, I mean, I'm going to, no. It's
every time?
Every single time.
Alright. Yeah, we'll have to set a goal.
And that's when I repaint all of my J Falcons.
I'm looking forward to definitely, you know, upping our game. I mean, I have been holding off on buying clan minis.
I'm glad we did.
You know, because I've been waiting for this, and they came out so great. I'm going to be finishing up my Clan Wolf Force, you know, this week, and then, you know, maybe later this week or next week we can get a bat wrap.
Yeah, I know Kevin was really itching to get on the tabletop, so maybe you guys play. I don't know. We'll see what my schedule's like.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'll be into it.
All right,
man.
That's all I got.
So much. I can't wait
for Wave 2.
Yeah, I can't wait for Wave 2. I can't wait to get this on the start playing.
They look really good.
I'm very interested in what people think.
I was worried when we played Winfield Regiment against Jade Falcon, like there'd be too much green, but they look completely different.
So different, yeah.
It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, maybe if like these, they're a little bit closer.
They are.
Actually, they're closer. So they're never gonna fight then.
They can't fight. They'll get confused. They'll get confused.
They keep like flying by each other. Like, where are these guys? Whew.
Is that John?
Yeah.
John, did you get a new Mac?
Yeah.
Never seen that one before. Well, I'm amped. I'm amped.
Oh, you know, the other thing I was confused on, or at least I haven't had a lot of good luck figuring out, is does Nikolai Malthus have like an honor guard? And I'm pretty sure he does.
You asked me that a few times. I couldn't find anything.
And if I remember, I think
Star Colonel Kristen Redmond.
I was gonna say he absolutely does. I don't know what they're painted to look like. I don't know what their mechs are. That was one thing I wasn't sure about with the mechs, was like, you know, what units are with each other traditionally, and when you're trying to play like Turkina Keshik or something else, are there mechs that they use that other ones don't? Same with Comstar, like, are there Comstar mechs that are like, these are the mechs that are specific to Comstar that they typically use? Are there variants that only one or the other clans use? Because I can imagine the clans have all sorts of weird like hang-ups about what mechs they use.
Weird hang-ups.
You know what I mean? Yeah, but, that kind of stuff. I like. If we're gonna do canon, that'd be cool. Because again, like in Sarna, I was saying, like, you can see that Sarna at least documents like how many mechs the different units had. Like Turkina Keshik 50, 75 elemental. That's a lot of elementals.
I feel like that's a lot.
Yeah. Jade Falcon, you know, Gear Falcon, Peregrine Falcon. Yeah, that was left in. I don't know anything about them, but so yeah.
I love it.
I think this is over.
It's over.
Over, fam.
That's all we got. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed just hearing us chit chat. Also, checking out some of the progress we've made on our minis. Yeah. You know, we've been hard at work for the last week, 2 weeks.
Yeah, I can talk forever.
Time flies. But you know, so keep your eyes open for a bat rep coming soon. A bar fight coming soon.
Yeah, a bar fight coming soon.
Anything else you want to close out with here, Tom?
No, I mean, this was great. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
If you made it this far in the video, what's wrong with you? Who are you?
They're painting. They're painting their minis. Like, we're just background noise at this point.
Say something?
Anyway.
Say bar fight?
Well, guys, if you haven't subscribed, please do. If you are painting your minis and you're bored of hearing our voices, you can listen to our exclusive Death From Above Wargaming soundtrack called War Games. You can stream it on Amazon, iTunes, Spotify. Yeah, all the major streaming services have it available. If you're looking for some miniatures or army painter paints for your airbrush, you can head on over to Ares Games and Minis. That is your one-stop shop for all your Battletech needs, including books and dice and anything else you might need. So as you get geared up for the clan invasion, definitely check that out. I know that there are boxes coming to Ares Games and Minis for retail. That might not be for a little bit.
Yeah, I've heard that stuff's not until
spring is what I heard. But
whoa, for retail?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But I could be wrong.
Oh, we never even got into the eBay BS stuff.
Oh, the eBay stuff. Yeah, we'll do that.
But we don't have to get there.
Prices are high, guys, but it might be worth it. So
it's never worth it. Don't listen to him at all.
How bad do you want a command lance?
Yeah. $80 worth of bad? I hope not. Yeah. Nothing is worth that kind of price.
Yeah, you could just add them onto your Wave 2.
I mean, honestly, if you want to pay that much for, let me know. I will.
We'll add it into our Wave 2.
I was going to say I will just ship you my mechs.
For $80? 180. They're painted.
Did take me a lot of time.
Time is precious.
Time is valuable.
We're off on a tangent again.
Yeah.
Well, guys, if you haven't subscribed,
should I do like an airbrush video?
Please subscribe. Let Tom know if you should do an airbrush video.
I can't decide if people actually want to see that or not.
I want to see it.
Yeah? Okay, I was going to say.
I think you should do it.
To figure out the camera situation, all that. How do you film painting? Just like a solid
We'll just duct tape it to your head.
Okay.
Have a great night. Guys, stay tuned. Always great stuff coming from Death From Above Wargaming. Have a good night.
See y'all.